simple. He don't like you. He don't call you. He don't like you. He don't keep his verb. He don't like you. He's inconsistent. He has someone else. He only calls you when he wants something. He's using you. He starts random arguments. He's cheating on you. He's not investing in you. You're not worth the investment. Never met his family. You're not the one. Been with your guy 5+ years. No ring. No marriage. He's still searching. You're a placeholder. Men are not complicated. They're very easy to know. Men don't talk with their words. They talk with their actions.
Welcome back to the channel. You see the information on the screen, so you know what I'm about. So let's get into it. So this is one of those things that I think people have to remind themselves about periodically. And at the very beginning and end of it is the phrase, like the people who like you. And I think we all, both men and women, can kind of get caught up in that concept because we want what we want. And remember that society out here is trying to lead us down these paths. And they're saying, oh, dude, you deserve it. Oh, girl, you deserve it. And they're really teaching you to go after a dream instead of going after reality. It is extremely rare for you to find a person that is perfect in all ways. Now, it's not impossible, but it is rare. And the reason why it's rare is because we as human beings, we put emphasis on things that God don't care about. And I'll be honest, that we shouldn't care about. Let's say, for instance, like I say, way back in the day, and I know a lot of Gen Xers and baby boomers will know what I'm talking about, the movie Boomerang, right? And if you've never seen that movie with Eddie Murphy, you should probably check it out. It is rated R, but it is a classic, as people say. But, you know, I know it's a Christian channel, so I'm just letting you know before you go out there what's in it. And so in that particular movie, one of the things that goes on is that Eddie Murphy is just stuck on feet. He's 100% stuck on feet. He just is like, man, I just have to have a woman with beautiful feet. He's like, I don't care how beautiful she is in every other area, even though he does want her beautiful in these other areas, but she has to have beautiful feet. And he's just like literally loving them and leaving them because they have ugly feet, right? And see, a lot of us, we don't recognize that this is really how we go through the dating process. We can find people that are really great for us, that have most of what we're looking for, but we want the person to have pretty feet. And we just can't get over it. And really, what's really happening is that the reason why you can't get over it is because you keep thinking about it. You keep meditating on it. Have you ever thought about the fact of all of the people in the world and how every group of people and every culture tends to like something a little bit differently, right? You know, when Kim Kardashian came on the scene and she had this huge butt, right? A lot of men, you know, especially, you know, white men, didn't understand. They didn't understand why black men were going crazy about it. And then at that point, it opened up the door for a lot more black women with, you know, big butts or whatever to start to pop up on the scene. But even before that, you had like Sir Mix-a-Lot, you know, which talked about Baby Got Back and different things like that. So in the black community, it was always that, you know, big butts were a thing. And why? It's because a lot more black women had a big butt. But if you really think about this, in the white community, there was always white women that had a big butt, but it wasn't praised. But after Kim Kardashian came on the scene, yes, there was some backlash by some white men, but there were a lot of white men that started to appreciate the big butt. And now you literally have, TikTokers teaching white women how to make their butts look bigger, right? You know, by doing, exercises and different things like that. So you literally have this culture shift, that's happening. And see, the reason why I bring this up is because what I'm trying to illustrate here is that we all have these things that we think that we like. And we like them because of the culture that we're in. And the culture continues to preach this one thing, i.e., it's advertising this one thing. So right now, and that's why it's so hard for a lot of women, because a lot of women are like, man, I don't know what the man is going to like. So they're trying to do everything. They're trying to get their nails done. They're trying to get their hair done. They're trying to get their eyelashes. They're trying to do the makeup. They're trying to do the waist trainers. They're trying to get their feet done. And because they're really trying to appeal to every man that they run into, because they don't know what the man that they run into is going to like. And see, that in itself is part of the problem that takes you back to this. And this doesn't exclude men, because men feel pressure as well. So I don't want, the women just to look at it from their side, because men feel pressure as well. So as we start to date, we get ourselves in these situations where we like this person because maybe this person has pretty feet, but the person doesn't have a beautiful mind, or they have a very ugly heart. But we're so focused on the feet, because the feet is what we've been advertised so much, and we just got to have it. We got to have it. But then you have this other person over here that's beautiful in all the areas except they got ugly feet. I mean, these feet look like they've been through war. Like they literally have walked on, broken, Coke bottles. I mean, these feet is jacked. But this person, because they've walked over those Coke bottles, because they have walked these miles of pain, their heart and their mind is right. See, when you are dating someone like I said, we always talk about going to marriage here, but when you're dating someone, for the most part, like I said, you're going to have your ups and downs, but for the most part, it should feel good. And you should feel like there is an end to this. Okay? Now, I know that women kind of start relationships. Women don't really understand that. But without a woman saying yes, and even yes to the right man, the relationship will never start. But men kind of finish it, i.e. take the woman into marriage. But, so I have to kind of lean it, that way because of that. But when a woman is sitting around and you don't know where the relationship is going. So the woman is already given her okay. She's in the relationship now. She's spending time with you now. Okay, the man should be evaluating what this woman is doing. Is she doing everything right, wrong, indifferent? Okay, and the woman should be doing that as well. But one of the things that the man has to do at that point, he has to lead. Okay, that's why we talk about in the non-negotiables about leadership, right? So at that point, from a woman's perspective, you should not feel like what this woman was talking about. And the reason why is because if he's leading properly and he is leading you down pretty much to the ultimate goal of marriage, you're not going to go 6 months or even really 3 months without knowing where you are. And if you don't know where you are, there's really only two problems that it could be. Either he doesn't know how to lead or he don't want you. And if you're a man and you're dealing with a woman and she seems disconnected, she doesn't seem like she wants to follow in, with you and to try to go down this path. Again, it basically says she don't want you. See, most people are in placeholder situations. And I'm not going to say that no placeholders will ever not get married, because some placeholders will get married, depending upon the person that you're with. But you really don't want to be in a placeholder situation, because the placeholder is basically saying that the man or the woman don't want you. And this shows up in every single thing that they do for you, right? So if they don't want to do nothing for you, you're a placeholder. If they give up nothing for you, you're a placeholder. If they don't want to marry you, like I say, this relationship is going on and on and on without an end in sight. And what most people say, and I do think most, and like I say, we got people all around the world, most people agree that at least after 1 year, it should seem as though there's a cap. to this dating, courting process coming. There's a cap coming to take you into marriage. And I personally don't believe women should ever wait beyond 18 months, especially if you are over 32. Now, if you are under 32 and the man is working on a degree or something like that, then I could see you maybe dating her for 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. And if you guys started to date, like if you're 18 and you started to date in college, yeah, you might be in that situation for 4 or 5 years. It's not something I would encourage you to do, but I do understand that that can happen. But once you're like in your 30s, nah, these dudes should be, it should be over relatively quick. And so that's the point that I'm trying to talk about. And that's another reason why I encourage women to date older men. But and then when I say older here, again, I'm not talking about 15, 20 years. I mean, you can if that's your prerogative, but I do encourage women 5 to maybe 7 or 8 years older is about where I would encourage most women to be, because men want things later in life. Women generally want things a little bit earlier in life. And so generally speaking, a man that's a little bit older, he's going to have a little bit more money. He's going to be a little bit more settled. If he has run the streets, he would have already done that. And so more than likely, he's going to be ready to settle down. And women generally want to start having those babies earlier and different things like that. And so it makes it easier if you go ahead and appreciate the gap. But again, in our modern American society, people are trying to make it like, no, don't date no dude 5 years older than you because he's going to take advantage of you. Here's the bottom line. You can date a man that is 1 year younger than you and he try to take advantage of you. If he is that type of man, he's that type of man at any age. And I'm going to be real, and there's a big thing going on right now, and some women out there that are probably watching me right now already have experienced it, because there's a lot of men that are in their early 20s that are dating women in their mid 40s, because the whole purpose here is to enjoy the cougar-esque environment where the cougar woman will pay for you, she'll take care of you, and then you as a dude, you just get your life right, you get your money right, you get your job right, because this woman at 45, she don't want to have no kids. And many of these women look halfway decent. So these guys are saying, well, this is great. They want sex, I want sex. They've got money, I need money. And so they'll continue this relationship for 3 to 7 years. And generally, once these men start to go into their 30s, they're like, oh, okay, well, it's time for me to get, a wife now. And then they drop this older woman, and then they marry a younger woman. And then the older woman doesn't really understand what happened. Okay, because she's thinking, oh, I thought these younger guys actually like me. But no, they're just using you. Okay, so a younger man can still use you, and he can still hurt you, and he can still manipulate you. Okay, but now if both sides understand what's happening, again, that's on you. But I just want to make sure that people understand that there's a lot of stuff out here that's going on, and it makes it seem one way, but it's really another way. So you can believe that older men are going to take advantage of you, but I can tell you straight up, a man that's going to take advantage of you, a man that is going to control you, he's going to do that in any age. At any age. He could be doggone 18 or he can be 80. And it really doesn't matter. And for the men that do date younger women, okay, I would encourage you to always see her as an equal. And I think that's the key. You can't date a younger woman and believe, oh, well, I know more than you. I got more experience than you. Blah, blah, blah. Because at that point, you're minimizing her. And if you minimize her, she's not going to feel comfortable in that relationship unless she's already broken. And there are some women that kind of seek out a father figure because either they did not have a good relationship with their father, or that just makes them feel more comfortable. Right. So I could go into a lot with that. I don't want to take too much time into that, but hopefully those few nuggets helped you out. But again, to get back to this point, you date people that like you, they want to be with you, they want to marry you. And once you find out that they're not really feeling you like that, you don't play games. You don't stay in these relationships. And again, this is, especially for the women, this is how a lot of them really get hurt, because they're trying to force this thing and they're so in love with the feet that they can't move on. But you got to let the feet go, because the feet don't mean much. Right. And sometimes somebody with ugly feet, okay, have actually gone through more in their life, and therefore they're actually better people. Right. So anyway, please like, please subscribe. Remember, we try to do periodic Zoom calls that go live here on YouTube. If you're interested in that, hit that notification bell because that's how YouTube will alert you, okay, when we actually are doing something live. But you can also check out the community page because I'll always put it up on the community page. And also remember to like and remember to subscribe if you're new to the channel and you're interested in getting married, or maybe you're already married and you just like the information on this channel. Anyway, I will see you in the very next video.